St. Ursula and Companions, Virgins, Martyrs, 452, Cologne, Germany. About the middle of the 5th century, when Attila, chief of the Huns, had been defeated at Chalons in his first invasion of Gaul, he returned into Pannonia, and before crossing the Rhine attacked the noble city of Cologne, and from hatred to the Catholic religion, which greatly flourished therein, he gave it up to sack and slaughter. The savages, burning with lust, cruelly assaulted the young virgins who were abiding there on their journey from Britain, among whom the most famous by name is the Virgin Ursula, who exhorted her companions to endure all torments, and rather to suffer the most cruel death than to submit to the loss of their virginity. This noble band of virgins therefore, while they steadily resisted the Huns, were by them for some part slain with the sword, for some part pierced with arrows, and for some part felled with bludgeons, and Ursula, bending as a glorious victim over the piles of her slaughtered companions, as over heaps of heavenly pearls, red with the bloodshed for faith and chastity, led triumphantly into heaven the army crowned with these double crowns. After the horde of barbarians were departed, they that survived of the dwellers at Cologne gathered together the bodies of the virgins and the other citizens that had suffered martyrdom, and buried them with all honor. Upon the field stained with their blood, wherein the bodies of the martyrs had been laid to rest, was built a church, which, in the middle of the 7th century, was already called that of the Holy Virgins, and there from reverence for them no other human body was thenceforth allowed to be buried. To this church, in the 9th century, was attached a monastery wherein, in the beginning of the 10th century, the nuns that were flying for fear of the Hungarians found refuge, and this place hath ever been abundantly endowed and devoutly frequented by the chief citizens of that illustrious city. The church hath oftentimes been restored, but the walls are still to be seen even to this day, everywhere adorned with shrines of the martyrs, while the greater part of their relics are enclosed within the hollow walls of the choir or lie under the pavement. In the chapel adjoining are countless heads of the virgins marked in part by traces of their martyrdom, and in part covered with hair matted with blood. Unto these sacred pledges of a blessed eternity the faithful in past times made devout pilgrimages. Oremus. Grant us, we beseech thee, O Lord our God, to reverence with unceasing devotion the victories of thy holy virgins and martyrs Ursula and companions, that those whom we cannot fittingly celebrate, we may at least approach with lowly homage. Per Dominum nostrum Iesum Christum. Amen.